What makes a great landing page? When launching a product, are you able to put out a page that clearly conveys your vision and helps you find product market fit before writing a line of code? In this video, we're going to look at 4 different landing pages, see if we can't find what works and what doesn't work, and apply those insights to my own page. This last week, I have been inspired with the idea for a new app, which is going to be a fundraiser for Ukraine by selling AI-generated avatars. Now, this project is on a very tight deadline because I would like to launch by the anniversary of the war, which is February 24th. That does not leave a lot of time for validating the idea, and then if we get traction, to actually build it. So this last week, I've been whipping up a landing page. I'm hoping to launch that landing page by the end of this week and see if we can get 500 people to register for the app. Yesterday, I finally got the landing page to a place where I can show it to some friends, try to get some feedback. But before I look at that feedback, I want to take this opportunity to kind of hone my design and product sense. I want to see if I can effectively give myself feedback on the landing page. It's now been 24 hours since I've looked at it, so hopefully I can do so with fresh eyes. However, before we dive into critiquing my own work, let's warm up a bit by taking a look at some other landing pages. Hopefully you can take this opportunity to also think about what you like and don't like, and what changes these pages could make to increase their conversion. So without further ado, let's hit it. All right, let's look at AvatarAI.me. So we've got this sale banner right up at the top. We've got, all right, a little logo pops in. We've got this great splash image. We have a background with a bunch of avatars. Right to the point, it kind of tells you what the product is. A few selling points. Your uploads are deleted in 24 hours. Great call to privacy. Some social validation. A little more elaborate explanation of what this is. Then we have this click to try section where as you click through these different input photos, the output changes. If I zoom out a lot, you can see that better. And this click to try section really conveys what exactly the product is. So this is great. We have this call to action button, basically the buy now, that's always there down at the bottom. So that's something really cool to pay attention to. First in the world to offer AI photos. This is kind of like a unique selling point. Kind of more talking about distinguishing features from their competition. Great as a gift. Here's some tweets or something from hopefully satisfied customers. Okay, some information on how this is made. Frequently asked questions. A little on who built this, which is nice. Good on some of these frequently asked questions. Good things to cover here. And that's it. So what do I like? The presentation, very clean, very elegant, very modern. It's got this nice color scheme of, very dark and white are kind of the primary colors with a secondary accent of this full spectrum from this orange to almost green. And also notice this purchase button is actually changing color by itself over time. And it's always kind of this beautiful gradient that really draws you to it. And then also here in the preview here, again, it's just a lot of colors all at once. And so having kind of the primary grounding of the very dark and the white really prevents that from being overwhelming. Now, this click to try section is great because it immediately conveys what the product is without having to use really any words. I would really consider moving this further up. I think the tangible click to try explains the product much better than any of this text. The only thing is there a way that this section here, and I'll zoom out again, is there a way for this section to not take up so much screen real estate? For example, instead of laying out all these different options, if you had a few, but then in a way to scroll them to choose more, and same with the output. This output goes on forever, especially if I'm scrolling down to find out more information. It just keeps going. So is there a way where you can be sure that even on a smaller screen, like if I'm zoomed in like this, here if I'm clicking this, I don't necessarily see what's happening. So if you can make sure that maybe these are in one column and then the output is in another column, able to scroll both of them so you get the full effect of all the variety that they're giving you, but without taking up so much screen real estate. But otherwise, this is great. It kind of tells you exactly what the product is. We have here some unique selling factors. I don't know at this point if AI generated avatars are so prevalent that I feel the burden now is to convey what this product is and how you would use it. Why would you want this? Rather than distinguishing yourself from other similar products, right? If you're selling a phone, everyone has a phone. They know they want a phone. So there, absolutely, you need to distinguish yourself from the other options. But when you're trying to sell something this novel and this unique, I would maybe spend more focus on what is the point of this? Why do you want this at all? What problem is it solving for you? Than trying to distinguish yourself from the competition. Now, that doesn't mean don't have this information, but maybe there's something more important that you could put higher up. For example, great as a gift, or what other people are saying. Now, that said, some of this I don't think is very helpful. I don't know if this is a tweet or what, but let's drive value for our stakeholders with end-to-end solutions. I don't think that tweet and featuring that here helps the customer make a decision as to whether or not they want this. And most of these are similar in that regard. So I would maybe rethink this section. I don't know if it's accomplishing the goal of social validation. Frequently asked questions, for example, I maybe would move this further up because some of these are very good. Can I upload for minors? Is the payment secure? You know, all these questions that are going to help reassure the customer about the quality of what they're getting. Now, I do like this intro. Create your own photorealistic AI avatars. Gets exactly to what this is. And then at the top, it has some high selling points. I'm not entirely sure that the cat as the main background is the best option. Ideally, you want this background image to demonstrate what this product is, but maybe that does appeal to the most people. So maybe that's fine. I don't know, but it's something I would think about. So quick recap. Love the style, love the color scheme. Very, very elegant, very modern. Able to show off a lot of color without being overwhelming. Love the call to action that's always there in your face. This click to try section is fantastic at conveying what the product is. So I would think about finding a way to, one, to move that higher up, and two, to convey it without requiring so much screen real estate. And finally, I would think about maybe reordering some of the information, moving some of the distinguishing features further down, allowing you to bring up the frequently asked questions, which I think are going to be more important for the average viewer. But all said, great stuff. Very, very inspiring as an awesome landing page. All right, now we're going to something very similar. AI Profile Pic Maker. Got this opening section. Avatars versus profile picture. Here we have like the steps, 1, 2, 3. Upload your photos. Here we have a similar section as the other with, I'll zoom out again, where we have like two different options of input photos and then showing what the output would look like. Plus 90 more photos. Advanced artificial intelligence, blah, blah, blah. How does it work? Frequently asked questions. And zoom back in. Mobile app is coming soon. Generate your avatar with AI. So obviously, this is very similar to the previous. Most likely, one was inspired by the other. I can't say. But for this one, what do I like? What do I not like? What is it doing well? One thing I like is that right away in this hero image, you see the process, right? Upload your photos, receive 100 AI avatars. I think probably they can make this a little clearer, but it is great at conveying that. The tagline is great, generate stunning avatars with AI photo shoot. That's a good way to like sell that in myriads of styles and scenes. Upload a few of your photos, get 100 beautiful studio quality pictures in minutes. So very nice, concise description. Avatar versus profile picture. I do not think this is a good place to put this. This information is redundant and kind of useless. And honestly, you're just wasting screen real estate. This 1, 2, 3 is fine. It explains the steps. I feel maybe it's taking up more space than it needs to, but it's probably fine. Here, upload your photo. The photo needs to be in different settings, backgrounds, time of day, etc. This, I think, is very dangerous. You are giving some qualifications that, hey, there are some limitations of what we need from you, but at the same time, you're not telling me exactly what you need from me, right? I'm assuming that if I go ahead and I buy this, there's going to be a guide that tells me exactly the type of photos I need to upload. But if you start telling me here there are some complications and then don't finish explaining, I'm left with a gap, right? Am I confident that you're going to finish telling me what I need to do? Or is this all you're going to say, and it's going to be up to me to figure out and play around with this, making the process tedious and risky? But be very careful about where you present this information. Now, similar to the previous one, I like that they have the different examples. It would be nice to have more examples and more representative people, as in the previous. And similarly, if there's a way to get all of this that it can fit on the screen at one time. So, when I am zoomed in, if I just get here and I'm clicking on this, nothing is happening. It's not achieving its purpose of kind of selling this product. But if you can, and here even, I can't click on the button, right? So if you can be sure to find a way where all of this is on the screen at one time, I think that's gonna go much further. I like this text. It's a little obvious. These are example avatars created by AI. Yours will be in similar styles, but look exactly like you. It's obvious. It's maybe redundant, but I like it because it's very clear. Now, this is all kind of just gibberish. No one really cares that it's stable diffusion, but AI photo shoot at your fingertips. That is such a great phrase, such a great way to sell what this product is. Also, this one, bringing your wildest ideas to life. Great copy here. How does it work? Fine. Frequently asked questions. Good. Which formats are supported? That's great. Mobile app is coming soon. Does that need to be this big? Does that need to be here? I don't know. If people have been like slamming this guy begging for a mobile app, then maybe fine. Otherwise, maybe shrink that down a bit. Here's another example of great copy. Refresh your online look. Beautiful. And then here we have the actual call to action. So obviously here, the call to action is few and far between, right? You've got it once way up at the top. And then the next time you see it is down at the bottom, right? So absolutely, if I were this guy, take inspiration from Avatar AI, get that call to action on your landing page everywhere you can. That's an awesome feature. I would say the color scheme of this one, the white and then with these blues, it seems a little less professional, but it also might seem a little more approachable. I'm not sure. I definitely prefer the dark theme of the other one, but I don't have the information about the target demographic for this to really say which color palette is gonna lead to better conversions, right? If I were running this, I would probably do A/B testing, and maybe they've done this, right? With like a dark theme and a light theme, to play around with that to really find what is best going to speak to the customer. Now for something completely different. This is Nova Ukraine. This is a US-based charity for Ukraine. They've actually been around for a long while, but obviously since the war started has become much more vital. So obviously this is a bit different. This is not a product. This is a charity, but I think a lot of the same principles probably apply. So let's look through this and see what insights we can gain. Right up front, we have a nav bar, which is great because there's a lot more information that they need to convey, and not everything is going to be on one page. So that helps people, especially repeat visitors, quickly navigate around. In the top left, we've got the name of the site with a logo. On the top right, we've got donate and other calls to action. Very nice. Stand with Ukraine, a picture of a child. I'm not sure what about this photo conveys that this is a charity, but I don't know if it's just a look in the kid's eyes, but it's kind of clear immediately kind of the point of this. Stand with Ukraine, it tells you where your donation goes right away. Again, donate now to show support. And then you have here the different options, the different methods you can use to donate. And that's nice because right away it saves you a click from pressing donate and then having to choose your method. Then we have some information about the organization, your impact so far. Note that over here, after I've scrolled down, these little donate tabs show up on the right. So that's great. So after some info on the organization, now we have the impact of your donations. This is what the organization has already done. 55.5, that's a great round number. A million of aid delivered. Some more breakdown of where the money is going. More breakdown, very clearly and well presented. Who doesn't love a good infographic, right? Some ongoing projects, latest news, and as you're going through the news, you then have a clear option to read more about that, to dive deeper into that section, or moving to a different section, updates from Facebook. And again, the opportunity to dive deeper into that section. And then finally, a footer with a final stay updated call to action. Obviously, a lot of different people are coming to the site for different reasons, right? It's not just to make a donation. This is the main site for the organization. They need a lot of information, looking for volunteers, a refugee portal, etc. But I'm assuming that the majority conversion metric that they're looking at is to collect a donation. With that in mind, I would consider moving this impact of your donation section above the who we are and kind of the history of the organization. I think this is maybe more targeted towards volunteers, maybe to journalists. And I think those people, especially if you have a big get involved in refugee portal links up at the top, those people are going to be more patient and more willing to scroll down than maybe someone who is looking to make a donation. Now, also, these links that pop up on the right, these are really cool, but if I haven't been paying attention and I didn't note that this is PayPal, credit card, Facebook, right? And this, I assume, is making a donation through Facebook. Yeah, so this takes me directly to a fundraiser. So if I haven't noticed, I don't know that these buttons, and they're all kind of blue and monochromatic. On the one hand, it is obvious that this is a donation, but I would maybe consider replacing these with one tab, maybe in yellow to stand out more, because the majority of the color here in text is blue, right? And so if you have a yellow donate now button, right, instead of these four, that's kind of floating here all the time, I wonder if that might lead to better conversions. One more thing I would think about adding, it talks a lot about what they have already done, but it doesn't so much talk about what is the need now. When the war started, I think this was obvious, but now that it's been a year and there are many other disasters going on in the world all the time, you may have a lot of people who are thinking that this crisis is over, or at least not as important as it is. And so having a section on what is the current need, not where the previous money has gone, but what my donation might go to, might also be beneficial. I'm also looking at now, not for potential donors, but for potential volunteers. They have this events page, which, events you could join, help ways to get more involved by donating your time and skill. I would maybe see if you could find a place for that somewhere on the home page. Here where it says ongoing projects, instead of learn more, maybe just have that button say get involved or become a volunteer or something like that. That's a little more inviting, more of a call to action. And I would consider putting more of those calls to action, more of those invitations to join this community and to contribute and to make an impact. I would try to bring more of those onto the front page, sacrificing some of these news stories and things that have happened in the past, right? Either by pushing them further down or, again, just taking less screen space. I mean, this is a lot of text in this section here, right? Maybe each of these you can cut. Maybe each of these you can cut off after like 100 characters with a option to expand it if you're reading it and you want to. And then that gives you the screen real estate to bring in some more calls to action or invitations to make impact. All said, solid site, good stuff. All right, now that we've warmed up with those other sites, let's see if we can't bring that same critical eye to my own work. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that my own work is a blatant ripoff of the different sites that we've already looked at today and just crammed them all together. This is AI generated avatars as a fundraiser for Ukraine. So up top, I tried to capture in a single hero image what's going on here. You're taking a photo of yourself and transforming it to a Ukrainian style portrait. Blatantly ripped the headline from Nova Ukraine. I'm probably going to work on this. Stand with Ukraine. Make a donation kind of explaining what this is. On the right, you've got some example portraits that may be created. And then the call to action here is just to sign up for an email. Then down below, we've got this frequently asked questions, like so. And that's it. So now let's try to get critical. The first thing I would say is maybe this hero image is taking up a little too much vertical space, because it would be nice if we could see at least the headline Stand with Ukraine and some of these other portraits right from the get-go. So I may reduce some of that. Also, this arrow, I don't love it at all, but I knew that when I posted it. That's definitely something I'm going to need to work on. Down here, obviously, I'll continue creating some more portraits to fill out that space. If I'm feeling especially fancy, I might add some parallax on that so we have actually more portraits in that window as you scroll down. But that's definitely a to-do. Here I said we will email you exactly once, which I think is good. This is going to help convince people to sign up. But taking inspiration from some of the copy on this site, I might change this from getting a special Frontline badge to getting an exclusive Frontline badge. Make the text there a little more evocative. And then another thing I definitely want to take inspiration from is at the end of the frequently asked questions, that's the end. So probably I need another call to action button down at the bottom so I can just again have that form with the email address and a submit button. I can just put another copy of it down here. It would be nice to have it permanently floating. We'll see if I have time. I don't know if that's the biggest factor to work on. Now, this text also seems a little boring. I might look at different ways to spice that up. This headline, Stand with Ukraine. I may be able to use some AI to make it a more intricate border there, make it a little more colorful. I'm also kind of hating the style here. Now, obviously, I'm just using a template, so it was supposed to look nice out of the box, but I'm kind of hating this. I'm noticing it's very rare that there's lines of text that just go all the way across the screen, right? This is the only place in Nova Ukraine. The rest, you have it in different sections or you have images to one side or the other. Same here and same here. When they do have this long text, it is centered rather than left justified. So I may play around with maybe centering this. I can get rid of the icons and maybe make each of the headlines, make those blue to make those pop a little more. And I thought that the gradient on this fact, going from blue to yellow, I thought that made it nicer, but I'm not sure. I personally prefer the stark of the dark and the light, that higher contrast, but I'm not sure how my target audience will feel. So that's something I'm gonna have to think about more. And then, as I mentioned with Nova Ukraine, I think it may be good to add a section or something why this cause is still important now and what the money might be going towards. So to summarize my thoughts so far, work on the vertical space here. So make this hero image take less space so that we can move this Stand with Ukraine and these other images up a little higher. Try to give a little more color to this banner here, help that stand out a little more. Obviously, replace the arrow, finish with the gallery on the right, play with the text in the background in this section, and also be sure to add another call to action at the bottom. All right, so I didn't want to leave you hanging, so let's fast forward a week till I've actually implemented those changes. Let's take a look at what the landing page looks like now. Okay, so the first thing obviously is that we've updated the hero image. We've added this title, Avatars for Ukraine, up at the top, made a much nicer arrow. Not only do we start with Avatars for Ukraine, which as concisely as I could make it describes what this project is, we also re-emphasize the point of this with the color scheme of the Ukrainian flag and the text and that arrow. Further down, I opted to swap out that gallery with a bunch of small images with this auto scrolling gallery that shows more before and afters, again to make it even more clear what this product is and what it does. Then we added just some more styling on the left, as well as a little intro about why this is important, especially today. So we've got some more color in here, which I think helps things pop a lot. In the frequently asked questions, we centered the text as well as making each of the headings blue, which I think ties it together nicely. Then finally down at the bottom, I added an additional call to action form to submit your email address. It has the same functionality as the form up at the top. So those are all the changes I made after looking through those other landing pages and trying to learn from what they were doing well. Obviously, there's always more you can refine and improve, but at some time you have to go live. So for now, we're gonna call this landing page done, and we're gonna try to get it out there and see if we can't get this project off the ground. If you are interested, feel free to check out avatarsforukraine.net, or if you have your own landing page that you like some feedback on or have tips for the other viewers on what they can do to improve their landing pages, leave a comment. Let's help each other build awesome things. As always, watch out for tigers, and I'll see you in the next video.